Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. And we're really excited for you to see this, what we've been working on. It's been a lot of hard work, and I'll start taking you into it. So let's just jump right in. Start sharing my screen here. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with a PowerPoint presentation, a little bit about what this analytics and business intelligence is, and then we're going to jump into what it can do. We're going to actually see it in action. So, okay, so sorry, already problems with my PowerPoint. Here we go. Okay, so what is business intelligence and analytics? So everybody understands that analytics, we talk about reporting. So we've had reporting for a long time. This is a lot more than that. This is a way for you to see your data and start using your data by making your own reporting and or dashboards. We want you to be able to see your data in not only grid format, but in charts and graphs, and so that you can make your own dashboards and get your own key performance indicators on your screen and use these. Our goal is to reduce the technical conflicts of making reports and make it easy, enjoyable, and so that you can get your data back. Okay. So sorry. Okay. So why did we make this BI analytics tool? Well, first, our customers asked for it. You've been asking for ways to see your data, to make your own reports for a long time now. We've heard you. That's why we got started on this. It's also, we looked at some of what is a core competency of a TMS. And one of the main things is the reporting and to give you back the data that you need. So that's why we got started on it. So, so we ran into so when we started looking at it, we started running into some challenges that we took to make this BI tool. So what we first started looking at is smaller BI tools, stuff like Microsoft's tools for Power BI, that sort of thing. And what we've discovered is that we have, you can see by this little diagram here, we have literally hundreds of tables in our databases. And when we went and added a BI tool to our databases, it was just very, very complex to the point where it would be almost impossible to make the data that you need out of just a typical BI tool. So we went back to the drawing boards and we said, okay, what do we need to do to really make our system work with this? We need an architectural layer that we can present only the data that makes sense to our customers. We don't need the data that tells the system how to run, how a grid looks, or how a user security is. That you don't typically need that in even though it's available if we need it. But we can make this architecture layer so that we can see the different loads and customers and so on from there. The other challenge we had is that many of our customers have agents or branches. So we are a multi-company system. You can run sub-companies underneath your tools. But these sub-companies, you can't have them seeing other data that's in let's say the home office or even another agent's data. It has to be protected. So that was another challenge, because in a database that has these sub-companies agents, we couldn't let them cross data there. So we had to, at the core of our system, we had to build that. So that's why we decided to build this from scratch using already hardened BI tools in our programming, but not necessarily going out and buying a BI tool and putting it into our system. So what you're going to see here is an integrated business intelligence and analytics tool, and that's when we get into this. Okay. The key part of this tool is our architecture layer. So we have decided to make three different entities to give to our customers for now. So it's going to be the loads, the customers, and the carriers. This is where we're starting, but this is an evolutionary product, just like most of our products. We're going to be adding as more data comes into our architecture layer, there will be more data available for you on your analytics. So, for example, we're going to be adding the accounting information, invoicing, payables, that sort of thing next, banking information. So there's still a lot more entities that we're going to be adding to this. But for now, we feel like it's at a place where we can deliver it, and you can get a lot of value out of this for now with it already. Okay, so at this point, this is a short PowerPoint. I want to jump in and see if we can see the product and see what we're doing with our reportings and analytics. So just bear with me while I get this switched over. All right. All right, I'm jumping into the Load Plus Pro. Okay, now one of the things I want to say from the beginning is everything I'm going to show you is really built into Load Plus Pro, but you do not have to have Load Plus Pro to use this. If you are a cloud version of Load Plus, you can also use these tools. In-house customers cannot at this point because this is an online web-based tool. Okay, so that's the only customers that cannot, and it has to connect to the local databases. So we're going to jump in, and we're going to jump in. So you notice I have a couple new tabs here, new places on our menu called Reports and Analytics. I want to jump into Reports first. I want to talk about our reporting. So this is a one-stop shop to see all of our reporting. In our system, as you know, there are 70, 80 reports, pre-canned reports, and that's what we have done in the past. In this new reporting screen, you have ways of filtering down to the report you need by name, description, and then what I really like is these tags over here. If I want to see accounts payable, or a dispatch report, with carriers, I can just add these tags. When I'm ready, I can hit apply, and then it only shows the reports with those tags. Okay, resetting them shows me all my reports. So we can still see all of our older reports. So if I want to see let's say my older aged report, these all will load and run the old pre-canned reports. But we also now have ways of seeing our new analytics reports. So if I clicked on one of my reports here, it will go ahead and load. Let's just see if that one loads. Here it comes. Oh, did it twice. Okay, it will load one of our reports. In this case, this is a chart that we have already created, and you can see this is available loads of known profit. So I can click on any one of these and see how much profit I'm getting on this load. And then if I need to look at the data, I can hit the report data, and now I have my available loads with how much profit I'm making on these. On any one of these analytics reports that were made here, we have different options over here. Of course, you can print. You can take all this data and you can export it into Excel, PDF, CSVs. So all this is here for the standard reports. In the classic reports, for example, we only had the PDF options or maybe a CSV option, not Excel. So, and then you can do different pieces of this, like you can create charts if there wasn't already one here and that sort of thing. We're going to get into that. Okay, so that's what the reports look like. Now, there is levels of security on these reports. So we have what's called viewers, which is anybody that can get into the screen can view these reports. This is everybody that's a FMS Load Plus Pro user is automatically considered a viewer of these reports. As FMS makes reports in our new analytics tools, they will show up in this reporting and analytics tables, and you'll be able to view them just like any other report. And these will be publicly accessed reports. Okay. But there's also what's called a builder. Builders will get access to this new entire new analytics module that will allow you to build. So if you notice my analytics module, because my users demo, I have built started to build a dashboard here. So, and I have all kinds of things. And because it's only the first of the month, I've only entered 3 loads and it's automatically showing me what I'm doing. I also have my year over year and that sort of thing. So let me take you in now, and I'm going to show you what a builder can do, the power of what a builder can do. So we have my favorite dashboard came up. I also have my library. This right now, this is my FMS reports and my FMS dashboard that I have built. Now this is going to be available for everybody, but of course it's going to return your data and not my private data. So when you come in here, you can then see this. So on top of this, you're going to be able to build your own reports and dashboards and analytics. So let's look at that. Let's look and see what that looks like. So if we come over from our library to our builder area, okay, we can now look at this is the application layer that I was talking about. So you have under FMS, we can build these application layers, and we can also build custom application layers as well. So if we need to build a custom application layer for your data, for example, that's something different than somebody else's, we can do that. And that's where you would have FMS plus your company, okay? But for right now, let's go into the loads, okay? And under here, we have a couple of different categories, but the loads by booking is the one I want to concentrate on. So I'm going to build a simple, I'm going to go ahead and build a simple report. So let's just look at adding, let's just see who our top customers are for the year, okay? So what I can do here is I can go ahead and add, let's say, the actual customer, okay? And we immediately start seeing all of our customers that's on the loads, okay? So now what I might want to do is say, okay, now that's great. We have the customers, but let's see when, how many loads were booked by these customers in the last year. So I'm going to add my book date. Here's my book dates. And now I'm going to add criteria to my book date because I want to see what, for the last year. So I'm going to hit create, okay, is equal to, very easy ways of finding it. Automatically gives us the date, so I don't have to come with it. I can say, this entire quarter or this entire year. Okay, there we go. And I hit add to table. Then now we start seeing only customers with book dates of this year. Okay, so now let's see how many loads they have. Well, if I add the load number, for example, I can not only see what customers, but now every single load. So you see though it's duplicates now because each customer has a bunch of different loads. Okay, but I want to consolidate these. I want to add a count of these loads. So instead of keeping load number, for example, I might just want to add a formula. And of course, this is all going to be taught on the trainings. And I'll just add a count here and sort my formula of a count of loads. Hit save. And now, very simply, now my customers are returning counts for the loads, okay? And more on this, I also want to sort by this count, okay? So I might want to do, sort, let's say descending here, okay? And now I can see I can start seeing my top customers for this entire year on what they booked. Okay. Okay. So from here, I can then go and say, okay, show me instead of all my rows, I just want to see my top 5 customers. And now I'm seeing the different customers, the top 5 of how many loads that they have done. Okay. And instead of load number, I can click up here because that makes no sense, and I can start changing this to load count, for example. Okay. And then that will immediately change my header over here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go so we have this data. I'm going to go ahead and save the report. And let's call this top customers. I can for right now, because I am a administrator, so I'm going to put this as all users, so that way we can add it to one of my freight management systems dashboards. Next here, and I'm going to save it right inside the public library in this case, but in most cases you'll be saving in your private library. And hit finish here. Whoops, forgot to select it. Okay. Okay, so now in our library, we now have our top customers right here. But so now this top customers, if I run it here, it's coming up in my report data with just the basics of what I want here. Okay, so instead of that, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna edit this one more time because I want to show you how easy it is to make a chart out of this. So what we can do is when we come up to this, we can come up to this visualization up here, and we can go to what's called a chart. Okay? And you can do this on regular reports too. We have a bunch of different kinds of charts, from columns to pie charts, line charts, and so on. So let's make this one for now. Let's make it into a column chart, and I'll hit next. Okay, on my load count, and I'm just defaulting through this for right now, not showing any legends or anything. Hit next, and we're seeing now seeing how many are going in. Let me just go back here. I might have picked too many here. What I'm looking at. Okay, so now I have all of my customers in here, and I've already made the visualization. So if I wanted to go back to the grid, so I have my actual number, my book date, my load count of my load numbers, how many I'm doing, all my customers here. And then if I want to switch this to a visualization, let's say like a chart, for example, I can just go into a column, flip through this, and then you see how many of these, I can look at this and see how many loads that I have done for these customers in the entire year, and so on. Okay. So now from here, you can use these charts. You don't have to just look at, it's not just a one simple report that you have to, use. So what I can do is I can, for example, I'll leave mine. I have my top customer here. If I want, I can do things like I can edit, I can schedule these reports to run. So you can schedule them to run and to be able to send them to yourselves, as who's going to receive them as they run, on the schedule. So if you need to have a report, for example, that you need to deliver every week, you can have that report pop to your inbox, and then you can forward it on to your customers and so on. Okay. So you can schedule all these reports and share these reports with others, because with a simple link to the report. And then what's really cool is you can embed these reports and or graphs into your dashboards. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and just copy this report, for example, and I'm going to call it top customers. And this time I'm going to place it into my monthly dashboard. Okay. And so now we see our top customers inside the monthly dashboard. And when I load up my dashboard, you'll be able to, it starts to load up all my different widgets in here, okay? And then I'll be able to add a widget, which I just created. That's basically just a report. So we just call it top customers. Next, we'll find our widget that we want to add. Yes. And now it's automatically showing. Now I saved it in the data view. So this will show in a data view here. But if I went back and hit that save button on that top customer, so if I come in here and hit edit, and we put this back into a visualization, let's just say we want it back into a pie chart. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put a legend on there. Forgot to do that. Okay, and hit finish. Save report. And now when we look at our main dashboard, all the data will load. Our top customers will be as a dashboard, in widget in here. And any one of these, like for example, we can click in and view more on this, drill it down, and even see the report data that's being returned and so on. Okay, so that's basically the way that a lot of this works. I know there's a lot here, and a lot to learn even on this. So we will be having different sessions on how to train on this, to be able to build your own reports, share your own reports from within your company and outside, and really how to learn this product fully.